52. We're down here to Wilma and Elvis today, and they're celebrating a couple wedding anniversaries. So right now we're going to make a record, and we're going to interview a couple old married couples here today. And I think first will be Mrs. Johnette.
This is Mrs. Johnette speaking, and we came down for dinner, and Dave and Pearl, of course, had driven down, and they came with us. And we just had a real nice snow, so the roads are kind of muddy, and the fields are all covered with snow. It's really a grand day, and it's not too cold. It was cold last night, but today it's been just really nice and warm.
You know, I'm afraid if I don't cut in, the rest of the family won't have a thing in the world to tell. Where were you born?
At Lomas.
In what year?
In 1888.
1888. You know, now we won't have to ask you your age.
Uh-oh.
How old are you? It'd be a lot easier to save us figuring out.
Well, I will be 64 this July.
Why, how did it happen that you happened to meet this fellow that you think so much of?
Oh, when he was about 7 years old, his mother's washing, and he came down to borrow a cake of lye soap. Mother made homemade soap. And he stood out there on the porch. I stand on a box washing dishes at the sink. And he stood out on the porch sucking his thumb. He didn't knock, but finally he came in, and I asked him if something he wanted. He asked his mother was washing. He wanted to borrow a cake of soap. Well, that's the first time I got to see him, and of course, we got to see each other quite a bit after that. He lived just a half a mile west of us.
Well, that's fine. I suppose you've had a happy married life?
Well, most of it. It's when I got my own way, but I didn't always get that.
How many years have you been married?
We've been married 42 years today.
Well, that's fine. Now I think we'll have Mrs. Nelson talk next.
Well, this is Mrs. Dave Nelson. I want loud. And we're down here at Alvy's for our wedding anniversary. We just had a lovely dinner. And we're not so sorry that Francis couldn't be here today.
Would you tell me when you were born and where you were born?
1891, up by Loomis.
And you're younger than Mrs. Jeanette.
Yes, I'm 60.
You're 60.
Mm-hmm.
How did you happen to meet that old sweetheart of yours, Dave?
Well, I met him at school. He's an old schoolmate of mine, and he looked like he needed a mate, so I felt sorry for him, and then we kind of started to go together.
You felt sorry for him. I wonder what he's going to say when we talk to him.
He was quite bashful, little fella.
I suppose you've had a happy married life?
Oh, we've had a very happy married life.
Lots of children?
Just one.
And is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I guess I'll let somebody else fill out the record.
Well, these ladies have done quite well. I think now we'll call on Mr. Jeanette. Let him get up here and tell us what he thinks of his wife and the weather and all.
Well, this is the manager now. Down here at Alvy's and Wilma's, and I'm going to say we had a nice dinner. And Miss said we had nice snow down here.
When was you born and where?
Well, I was born out here at Sappy Peak, Harlan County, and my mother was present at the City.
Oh, your mother was there? Well, that's fine. I'm sure glad somebody was there. So they could get the date anyhow. We always have to have one silly one in the family, and he's here now. How old are you?
Well, I'm getting pretty well along.
So you are?
Yeah, soon be 65, about 4th of July. That's the reason they celebrate the 4th.
Well, you're just young. I was just reading in the paper today where there's a fella 83 that shucks 120 bushels of corn a day.
Well, I'm better educated than he is.
I won't do that. Why, can you add anything to the story of meeting Mrs. Johnette?
Well, I
Don't
don't
you
know.
remember that far back?
I used to work for Dad for $15 a month, and he gave us $100, and they got married, and I thought it was a bargain, but I found out why I wanted to get rid of it.
Well, I think he's pretty well wound up today. Well, Just as well go on. There's quite a little bit left in this record.
Well, I think Dave wants to talk a little. I better let him say.
How many children do you get in your family?
Well, we've had 9.
Well, that's a pretty good sized family.
That's right.
You really had one good looking girl.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
You did that song, didn't I? Well, we're going to call on Dave now. We're going to let him talk. The record ends, if he will. No, there's plenty to say. Give him your name for sure. I don't believe anybody else told him the name.
Oh, this is Dave. We really enjoyed the day here and swell dinner. These 2 girls picked up parts. Seemed like everybody really had a good time right then.
Could you tell us when and where you were born?
Oh, I was born over here in Stark County near Loomis.
You can tell us when, is he?
How
old are you?
92.
92. Now we can figure it out. Anything you'd like to add to the story? Can't you tell us some exciting incident that happened? Didn't her dad give you $100 or something?
Well, I believe it's just a little over that. It was getting towards the tail end, he was hurrying them along.
In other words, you had to take just what is left. Well, I did different than that. You know, I got into Jeanette's family there along about, I picked the first but I had to take.
Yeah. Totally granted.
Yeah, I did all right. Didn't get along fine. How about you? Have you had a happy married life?
Really, just nothing to complain about. Really fine.
I'm going to ask you this. How happened that you two family, or you two couples, got married on the same day?
Well, I don't know if you say that happened.
Same date.